counting the amounts of time you say, but yeah. Okay, so next podcast, I'm opening a beer, and we'll see. I'm gonna get trashed by the end.
Hi there, everyone, and welcome to another week of the Jolt Switch podcast here. We've got a few things going on. First and foremost, we have our interview with Achilles018. He's a pretty dope dude.
He's pretty great.
We have some minor PvP updates, information, and of course the Team Rocket mysterious components that have been coming up. We get those updates every 2 days.
The truth is out there.
Yeah, we seem to be getting these updates every 2 days or so. So that's definitely an interesting piece that we want to touch on here. Now, before we dive into anything and introduce you to Achilles, we are powered by Patreon. It does enhance your Discord experience, and just recently, actually, we have created some lobbies, some battle lobbies in our Discord.
Yes, we have.
So we have a lot of people from around the world that aren't able to make it out to tournaments because their regions just aren't holding them. So it is available to you on our Discord for free. The link is in the description to jump in. If you do have any donations or anything on Patreon, that does still enhance your experience here with us. So it offers some extra pieces, some more insights, some even some just more ability to speak with us. We're not limiting the ability to speak with us because, as anyone who's messaged us anywhere knows, we respond.
Yeah. Anyone who leaves me a comment, I respond. Not because I have to, but because I genuinely enjoy it.
Exactly. So it does offer some more to do with Pokemon, some more extra pieces. You can take a look on our Patreon, which is also in the description there. Now, if monetary support isn't your thing, like I said, you can still join the Discord. You can still join in those remote tournaments. You can also drop a rating on Google and Apple Podcasts as well.
Or just drop the podcast in your Insta story. Or just let people know that we're kind of cool.
Yeah.
If you think that. If you don't, I hate you. And you're dead to me.
Why are you listening?
Get out of here.
So yes, let's dive in here. We've got our interview.
Wait.
No, just hang on a second. God, you're so eager.
I am.
All right, so Achilles018, introduce yourself and just let us know where people can find you. To anyone who doesn't know you, what do you do? Where are you from? What got you into Pokemon?
Sure. Well, first off, thanks for having me on the podcast. Yes, so I am Achilles018. I am a PokeTuber primarily. I do have an Instagram account I'm really active on. I've also got Twitter, Facebook, things like that. So you can head to either my YouTube or my Instagram to find out more about those things. So I have been a PokeTuber, relatively small channel. I just hit 2,000 subscribers about 3 weeks ago. I've had a channel since January 7th. Actually, is my first video. So the 7th of the month is always kind of like my little anniversary or whatever. So technically speaking, it's been 9 months, going on 10 months now. So really excited to have had the growth I've had in just 9 months, and the support I've had on Instagram as well has been really phenomenal. So what got me into Pokemon, really, I mean, initially it was just I'm a 90s kid. So growing up in the 90s when that wave of Pokemon excitement kind of came over in 1997, 1998 from Japan, starting with the anime and the games. And I was in 4th grade at the time. That's all everybody was talking about was Pokemon. And if they saw the episode where Caterpie evolved into Metapod and all those other kinds of things, like that was just the talk of the town. So naturally, I just kind of did what all the other kids did and got involved with that. And as Pokemon in that age group kind of fizzled out, probably around the Gen 2, Gen 3 days, Gen 3 lost a lot of Pokemon fans that I had as friends growing up because of just the switch from Game Boy to Game Boy Advance. And all your Pokemon got lost because of new hardware. So I had a moment where I kind of faded out of Pokemon for a little while, and I just kind of kept up with it. Kind of behind the scenes, I guess. I kept up with it, but not as avidly as I did before. And then in 2013, X and Y came out, and my cousin was like, "Hey, Pokemon's 3D now. You try this out." So he showed me Pokemon X, and I was just playing it, and I was like, "This is like just this amazing thing." And I kind of reinvigorated my love for Pokemon all over again. I've been like a super fan ever since. Awesome. And I've been wanting to do PokeTubing for the last probably 3 years. I just didn't really have the time or the equipment to do it. And, late, actually a little over a year ago now, I was like, I think I have the time to do this. So I got the equipment and got everything ready and did a couple of trial videos that way. Yeah. So
that's awesome. I mean, that's a great story. I mean, we started up with Pokemon when it came out here in North America too. So we totally get where you're coming from with that startup. That's, Pokemon Go to me was everyone's kind of dream with Pokemon.
Right.
Because 10-year-old Ash Ketchum takes off and goes and travels the world, and then we get stuck playing a video game for 20 years, and all of a sudden now we get to travel the world, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that was huge.
And so you said you've been going for about 10 months, and you just hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube there. That's pretty impressive.
Congratulations. I'm sorry, I'm coming in
so
super randomly. I was corralling our 17,000 pets that make noise consistently.
That's not a problem. I've got a dog that won't stop barking and a cat that's pretty quiet, but he's pretty needy too, so I get it. No worries.
You should see
and thank you for the congrats.
Not a problem. You should see trying to get a mic to work with a cat sitting on your lap and trying to purr into it. It's not a fun experience.
Sounds like a lawnmower.
Right. Yeah, I understand. I actually have to re-record a couple of my entries in my videos to hear my dog barking in the backyard. And my office is upstairs, but the window faces the backyard. So when she's barking, it comes through the wall pretty easily. So I've had to do a couple of retakes. But that, and I've got 2 kids. I've got one that's 1.5 and one that's 3.5, almost 4. So if they come knocking on the door, they're running in or talking to me, I have to kind of spend a lot of time in Adobe Audition kind of editing out parts where I'm, talking to my son or talking to my daughter or telling them like, hey, give daddy a minute, just hang on. So anyway, I totally get it. So no worries.
It's super adorable. I love that.
So I know that you're really into the console games. I mean, I played right up to about Gen 4 and it kind of fell off for me. Pokemon Go is where I picked up. I know that you said you came back when it went sort of 3D. That was sort of a big selling point for you at that time?
Yeah, it was. I, like most fans, I think, especially some of the older fans that had gotten used to some of these home console games. I mean, Pokemon at the time it came out, graphically speaking, wasn't much different from, the Nintendo or the Super Nintendo that we had. And the N64 it just came out, but beyond that, there wasn't much of a graphical misstep between what we were playing on our portable console, being the Game Boy or the Game Boy Color, and what we were having on our TVs at home. And I feel like while that's a lot of the charm of Pokemon, at that time I was getting used to playing, the newest, latest, and greatest Zelda game or Halo or something that was much more 3D and really kind of, I don't want to say took the imagination away, but kind of bridged that gap between, what I was seeing on screen and what was real life to me. So playing Pokemon games by extension, while they were very charming, obviously, in their pixel sprites, it just kind of didn't really, for me anyway, didn't quite measure up. Right. And I really wanted something that was a little more realistic, I guess, in that sense. Like made me feel a little more immersed in this game I'm playing. So once it went to 3D, I mean, I kind of felt the immersion kind of take over. And that's something I talk about a lot in games. That's something I love about RPGs and JRPGs like Pokemon is just that immersion factor and, make me believe that this is like a real world that I'm kind of like living in. No super long loading screens or things that kind of take you out of the game. Let me feel like almost like it's VR before VR was a thing. Like just make me like zone out of the rest of the world I'm living in and kind of get into this headspace. And that to me marks a great JRPG, which Pokemon is one. But that pixelated effect, again, while charming and while definitely something that the series is known for, was something that I was really hoping that would jump to 3D. So yeah, definitely. It was a huge selling point for me with Generation 6 and X and Y.
You know what, to me, is actually so interesting hear people talk about, like, their experience with, like, Pokemon games, is because, like, I come from Poland, so, like, I lived on a farm, so all we had was those little, like, round coins that you would get out of, like, chip packs.
Right, Pogs.
Yes,
Pogs,
and
right.
they were, like, to me, 3D is, like, when you, like, moved it around and the image changed on it, I'm like, yeah, that was 3D,
sure.
Right? So for you to, like, talk about it, I'm like, whoa, like, this is what we had out here. And there was me running around with, like, a satchel of my Pogs.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, what's really cool, I think, about the community, and I have a lot of people messaging me on Instagram on a daily basis, and I like exchanging kind of Pokemon stories and kind of hearing, what's your favorite generation or how'd you come up on Pokemon? And, why you love it so much, what's your favorite? And I have people ask me all the time, what's your favorite Pokemon online? And I always kind of go to my mascot, which happens to be Darkrai. And it's a pretty simple answer, and I kind of feel lame giving it because the responses I get are just insane. I mean, some people are telling me their favorite Pokemon is like Blissey, or their favorite Pokemon is, just something that's completely, I wouldn't have expected. I tell people all the time, I'm like, oh my gosh, like what a unique response. It's not like, Darkrai or Charizard or any of these kind of like really popular Pokemon. Some of the ones I get are really obscure, like saying that Furt is their favorite Pokemon. And that's just so unique, I think, about the community is,
and they all
there was so many Pokemon out there and so many games. So just everyone's got different experiences. It kind of makes it special to hear from every person. No one person's story is the same as somebody else's.
Which is amazing there. And I mean, like, my favorite is Jolteon, and people can pick that up from my name usually.
Right.
You said yours was, you say it's Darkrai because of your sort of background, your logo there, right?
Right.
I guess that's where sort of the excitement came, because like when we saw the announcement for Darkrai, I immediately saw a video pop up for you for Darkrai coming to Pokemon Go. I saw it immediately, pretty much, a video pop up for that. So I guess you're ready to go for that one, eh?
Yeah, I am ready to go for that. My wife and I's schedule's been kind of crazy. October's been a pretty crazy month for us personally. We have a lot of things going on. My wife had a birthday. We got into a minor car accident. I took a picture on Instagram and kind of showed a picture of that. Nothing serious, but got into a minor hit and run car accident. So it's been kind of crazy. So we haven't had a chance to get out yet. I keep driving by and seeing the raids. I'm like, we should go. But it's always kind of at odd hours where I don't think we'd have the support. And my wife and I can't take that on by ourselves. She's a level 32. I'm a level 38. So not quite enough to probably two-man Darkrai. But I'm looking forward to going on my next day off to go to some common spots where a lot of raid groups kind of meet up to see if my wife and I can join and take out Darkrai and add that to our collection.
Yeah, I actually saw your picture of the hit and run. I'm glad to hear that everyone's okay. But my favorite, if you can have a favorite part of a hit and run, is the fact that you were so positive about it because you found the card.
Yeah,
I was like, wow, that's pretty intense, because that's like, I'm all into like the universe and stuff like that.
Right.
So for you to actually find out, I'm like, okay, then he must be okay, because if you weren't and you guys weren't, then that wouldn't be up on Instagram. So I was like, thank God, because that was wow.
Right. Yeah, that was pretty amazing. And I definitely kind of saw that as kind of like this, crazy universal sign to be like, hey, it's all good. Like, things be worse. Don't worry about it. So for those of your listeners that may not have seen the Instagram post, so I was in a hit and run accident. No one was hurt, thankfully. But we pulled over into a local convenience store parking lot to take some pictures and call the police and assess the damage. My wife was actually walking around in the bushes calling her mom to let her know, hey, just FYI, I got into a car accident. Everything's okay. And she kind of bit down into this bush, and she just picked up this piece of something. I couldn't tell what it was. And she brought it over to me, and she goes, here you go. And it was just a comment. I think it was a Medicham.
It was, I think.
But anyway, it was just amazing that we're just in this random convenience store parking lot and just got hit by a car. And there was just this like Pokemon card sitting there, essentially on the ground, like right where we had parked. So that was kind of like, I felt like that was the universe kind of telling me like, hey, dude, it's okay. Just relax. You got a great, group of people that support you and care about you, and this could have been a whole lot worse. So, yeah, definitely was an amazing kind of coincidence there.
Yeah, it's almost like you are where you're supposed to be, like not in the hit and run, but like in life as a whole and as what you're doing, right? Because you do have quite a big support system. I mean, your subscribers, I'm sure you're super thankful for that, and you put out great content. So I think it was kind of like, yes, this is a hiccup, but you're doing what you're meant to be doing, and like my heart goes out to you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
So I know that you said your wife was level 32 and you're level 38.
I think I'm actually on the cusp of 30. I think I have like 50,000 more experience to go, which in the realm of between 37 and 38, that's like a blip. So I'm like right on the cusp of that. So I'm rounding up a little bit, but I'm a little bit away from being 38.
Well, you're close, and I think.
Yeah, well, I'm about to level up to level 38. I've been grinding the XP, and then Matt's
level 40 twice over. So
awesome.
But yeah, so with Pokemon Go, I mean, what team are you? Like, when did you start playing Pokemon Go? Did you pick it up from day one, or?
I did. I was following it for, months. I make a habit just to kind of keep on the up and up. I Google Pokemon, just Pokemon into Google. I will Google that 4 or 5 times a day. just in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, just to kind of keep up with what's going on, or if there's any kind of a surprise trailer or anything like that that comes out. I'm kind of just in the know pretty quickly. So when Pokemon Go was about to launch, when you Google Pokemon today, it's a lot of like, it's a combination of Pokemon Sword and Shield stuff, maybe some Pokemon community stuff, some Pokemon Go stuff for sure. But there was a time when if you Googled Pokemon, all you got was Pokemon Go stuff. And at the time, I was anxiously waiting for the next round of Pokemon main series games to come out because there hadn't been a main series game since 2013. And this is when Pokemon Sun and Moon were on the verge of coming out. So I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to Google this constantly to see if there's a launch title coming out or whatever, or rather a launch trailer. So I was keeping up with Pokemon Go for a very long time prior to launch. So when I got the notification that it was available to download, I was actually mini golfing at the time. I was at like a little small putt golf course, and I got the notification that it was available to download now. So of course I had downloaded it, and then I, technically speaking, played the first day. But honestly, I don't think anybody played the first day because the servers were not ready for the millions of people that were trying to log in. So it was just a bunch of server crashes. Anyone that's been around since day one knows what I'm talking about. But,
it was a painful experience.
It was very painful. But yes, I chose Team Mystic pretty quickly, and I kind of get a kick out of some of my nostalgic memories and screenshots going through my phone and Google Photos, because I was actually, there's a gym that's within walking distance of my house. That's a pretty common gym now that probably turns over every 12 hours at least. So not super popular, pretty popular, lots of turnover there. And I was actually the first person to hold that gym with a Raticate of all things, which is not competitive at all. But I was level 5, and it was the first Pokemon I evolved was Rattata and Eradicate. So I just went to the gym as soon as I turned level 5, picked Team Mystic, put my thing there, and I was like, yeah.
Look what I can do.
Yeah, exactly. And there were some people who were clearly, you can spot a Pokemon Go player from a mile away if you know a Pokemon Go players. So I saw a lot of people that were at this. It's actually a church that's down the street, but they were at this church and they were kind of walking around just glued to their phones. And I'm like, no one's ever over here for anything. So this has got to be Pokemon Go. So it just led to some really, really cool community-driven conversations where I had a person that came up to me and they were like, hey, you want to go take out this gym really quick? And I was like, actually, I'm the gym leader here. And I was like, but I welcome you to challenge the gym, and I hope you win. And we kind of had these cool conversations from team member to team member. I was a Mystic and they were a Valor, but just really cool, like friendly competition-driven community conversation that kind of got people involved. And I remember telling my wife, I'm like, this is why I was excited about this game. It wasn't just because of the features of it, but because this is a great chance for hardcore fans like myself and more casual fans that maybe Pokemon Go is the only way that they play. It gets us all to kind of like interact with one another when normally we probably wouldn't, say for like a big event or something like that. It just kind of lets you interact with people on a daily basis that you probably wouldn't have ever known before. Pokemon fans, we don't all wear Pokemon shirts and Pokemon gear like I do. Sometimes we're kind of hiding amongst the crowd. So it's just a cool way to kind of bond about something that is as impactful as Pokemon has been in my life.
Yeah, I mean, my Pokemon regalia is usually hidden away. I do have a ball cap, but I've got the badges tattooed on me and a couple Pokemon here and there.
Oh, man.
So.
That's awesome. That is fantastic.
So, I mean, it's great to hear, especially those community stories. I mean, we've got a larger community here. We've got about 8,000 players on a Discord channel. But wow. It's great to see people out and about. And now, especially with PvP out, now you can actually say, I'm the gym leader. Do you want to come and actually battle me instead of face my Pokemon and I'll see if it comes back later? I think that's a positive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, you'd mentioned Sword and Shield. Are you excited for that one to come out too?
I'm very excited. I, like most Pokemon fans, especially the longer term fans, was a little disheartened when I heard that not all Pokemon were going to be rendered in that game. Yeah. But I am able to see past that, and I don't want to say forgive. That's a strong word, but I want to see the positives. I want to see the positives of this game, maybe more so than some of the more avid bring back national decks and Dexit supporters. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. So while I think that parts of that community can be toxic, I think there's parts of every community that can be toxic as well. So that's not specific to those folks. But I, more so than the avid supporters of these movements, am okay with supporting Game Freak by buying these games and by playing them. I plan on buying both of the games. But that being said, I think that an opinion that I differ from the Bring Back National Decks and the Dexit supporters who are avidly trying to get people to not buy the games, to not support Game Freak in terms of because of their supposed laziness and things like that. For me, I'm not buying the games necessarily to support Game Freak. I think they're making the wrong decision, but I'm not trying to support them with my dollars. I'm just trying to continue to embark on a journey with my Pokemon and my community. And I built relationships with my Pokemon, and I have a living deck. So I've caught every Pokemon in existence, and I own that. So I can't bring all of them into Sword and Shield, but the ones that I can, I want to continue that journey. There's some Pokemon that I've had from Gen 3 that have transferred up to Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6, and now Gen 7, and then going to be Gen 8. So do I think Game Freak's making the best decision possible? No, I don't. But at the same time, I don't think that my relationship with my companions should suffer, and I should discontinue that journey because, some guys at Game Freak decided to, in my opinion, not make the best decision. So I still plan on buying them. I'm very excited about them.
Right, yeah, sure. I mean, I've got it pre-ordered. I've got Sword pre-ordered, so I'm looking forward to that one. And I really respect that that sort of want to have your companions. You've called them companions, and that's exactly what they are. It's not a restart and start over and start a brand new game and have a whole new team. It's work with the team that you've had since day one, essentially. There. And
I still have my first Pokemon in Pokemon Go that I caught.
Yeah, same here.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really awesome. And I had mentioned that I have a Bring Back National Dex kind of like reaction video or my thoughts on that. And in there, I kind of talked about the fact that initially I was not a fan of Gen 4 or Gen 5 because I had heard through the grapevine that you weren't going to be able to transfer Pokemon from previous generations until after you had beaten the Elite Four. So you really had to experience these games as they were designed first. And then you could import your Trapinch and your Trico and everybody else and kind of have them join in your experience. And I was like, well, I really liked bringing Pokemon up prior to beating the game. Like I wanted to bring my companions with me first so I can have like a more unique experience with them. And at first I was like, I don't really like this feature, but then I played Gen 4 and especially Gen 5 was, I think, my big one where I was like, gosh, I'm doing this again. But in Gen 5, I was really bummed out. I was like, I don't want to do this. And then I kind of talked about in the video that looking back now, like I will never forget the journey I took through Unova with the Unova Pokemon that I caught. That I would probably honestly have just, I would have just caught them. If I could bring a Pokemon up from the get-go, I probably would have just caught them just to fill my Pokedex because I'm passionate about filling the Pokedex, and I would have put them in the PC box forever. But now I've got these really unique memories like with Zebstrika, with Axew, with Litwick and the Chandelure line, and with Tepig. And I wouldn't have had those memories if I hadn't had that feature kind of forced upon me. So it really it seemed like a negative thing at first. And I'm hoping that the National Dex situation will kind of fall into that category too, where at the outset it seemed like this was not a good decision, but once we gave it a chance and looked at it with some clearer eyes, I guess, we may look back and go, you know what, it wasn't the most fun thing to hear about, but looking back now, I think it was an okay thing to do, just like the way I look at Gen 4 and Gen 5's mechanic.
Right, it definitely makes sense. And I mean, with the Switch being online and everything, and the games that update, so for instance, if you play Smash Bros, you know that they have all those different pieces that update, you get new characters and things. For all we know, they're pushing us to do that exact same thing, to start the game with only Pokemon that are there, and they may be working on that National Dex for an update later on, so you can pull them in maybe in the future.
I would hope that would be the case. From what I've heard, that isn't. From what I've heard from an interview with Junichi Masuda, who's the director actually, but he had said that from a space standpoint and from a time and effort standpoint, because they did do all of the new models from scratch. They did not recycle X and Y and Gen 6 and Gen 7 sprites or models rather. So from what he has said, they had to not put as many Pokemon in the game in order to have time and energy and effort to put toward these new features. So my hope is that may be the case on the front end to get the game out on time, because they've got deadlines. They're working people. They're big boys and big girls like everybody else is. They got deadlines they got to meet. They're business people. But my hope is, like with you, while they're not talking about it yet, my hope is that maybe it's a year down the road, and maybe instead of getting, like we've had Sun and Moon, and then we had Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon with it, like, more features and more things and more detailed, whatever. My hope is that maybe instead of having a I call it the director's cut version, like with, red, blue, and then you had yellow, which was like pretty much like the definitive version of that generation. My hope is that maybe instead of having a quote unquote definitive version of Sword and Shield, no Ultra Sun or Ultra Shield or Pokemon Gun, that rumor that came out, that was the third game. Instead of having that, that we just get, like you had talked about, Matt, was just kind of like get the essentially DLC to where, okay, instead of having this definitive edition, just a year down the road when you've got more time and effort and energy and you met your deadlines and you've got an idea of what features are good and which features aren't, maybe give us back the Pokemon that are missing. Actually, a trailer launched today. I think that was completely targeted to get some of the fans that are upset about the Pokemon, the national deck situation, like feeling a little better. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like a 30-second trailer. It's really, really fast, but it's this like very nostalgic trailer that starts off with Pikachu and the original like Gen 1 like adventure, like overarching theme that's like in like the 8-bit format.
Oh wow.
And it's got Pikachu and like a, the forest itself is very graphically updated like the Switch would be. I think it might even be real life. I can't quite remember, but it's got the Pikachu though by itself is very pixelated in the original black and white, red and blue pixelated artwork from the Game Boy.
Right.
So Pikachu's kind of like walking around in this real life forest, and then it starts to run towards something, and then it flashes to a different forest, and it's all these Gen 2 Pokemon, which again are in their sprite forms from the original Gold and Silver. They're playing around, and they look up, and they start running towards something altogether. Then Gen 3 does it, then Gen 4, then Gen 5, and each time the graphics are getting a little more updated as far as the Pokemon are concerned. And then Gen 6, and they're like in the middle of like some kind of city, and there's Sylveon, and they're all 3D and rendered and beautiful, and they're running towards something. And then it kind of all encapsulates into Pokemon Sword and Shield, and there's these players in the middle that each have like a Game Boy Color, a Game Boy Advance, a Game Boy DS, and a 3DS, and then they all kind of like their consoles turn into Nintendo Switches.
Oh wow!
And then they're all holding Switches, and then all the Pokemon that were graphically speaking the same as they were in the original games when they came out, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, and onward, they all transform into the fully rendered Sword and Shield versions of themselves. And there is like well over 100, maybe even 200 or 300 of these Pokemon around these 4 players that have their different consoles. Now they have all Switches, and that's the end of the trailer. So I think this was an unofficial reveal because people have been tracking for a long time, like, oh, look, there's Golurk. Okay, so Golurk is confirmed because we saw that in like the background. Oh, look, there's Rhydon. Okay, Rhydon's confirmed in Sword and Shield. And people have been kind of picking these things like one at a time. And there's a list of like 180 Pokemon on Reddit or something like that have been unofficially confirmed because they've seen them in trailers. And now it's like, okay, you want to pick 1 or 2 at a time? Here's like 300 Pokemon for you to go through. And it was just this huge shot of all these Pokemon that are pretty clearly going to be in the game because they're in the trailer for the game. So I think that was kind of like a trailer directly intended, with 3 weeks now until the game's launch, to really anticipate, hey, I know that when you have 812 monsters out there and we say we're not going to include some, I understand that would make you feel like you're getting, the short end of the stick, but we've got like 500 of these things here. So there's a lot of Pokemon to choose from. Like, I'm sorry if your favorite isn't there, and someone's going to have that happen to them, but it's not like there's only 100 Pokemon to catch.
Oh, yes.
It's still going to feel like this really overwhelming, immersive experience with a lot of different creatures. So if you haven't seen the trailer, you should really take a look at it. It's really short, but it's really kind of cool.
Especially with those obscure ones. Like, I know you said that people would say there's like Furret and silly ones that just you'd never think of being a favorite Pokemon. Of course, they're going to be those people when they're missing from Sword and Shield on at least the get-go. They're going to be a little sour about it, which makes sense. Right. Absolutely. And which is totally understandable. Like, I had someone tell me the other day that Pokemon is Dugong. I've never heard that before. Anyway, it's going to impact somebody, and I feel for those fans. And if it might impact me too. You never know. I don't know if Darkrai and Ho are going to be in there. They haven't been revealed. I imagine they wouldn't touch legendaries and mythics, but they might. So for all I know, I could be in that conversation. And I have an Ask Achilles video coming out today, and somebody had asked me in my Ask Achilles video if Darkrai wasn't in the games, would you still play them? And my answer pretty unequivocally was yes. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I would still support the franchise and play the games. Like I said earlier, just the companion's journey that I have with Pokemon that are going to be in the game shouldn't end just because a couple of Pokemon didn't get a chance to make it. Doesn't mean you don't get to enjoy the time with the rest of them, right?
100%.
Right. And you'll still have Pokemon Home, which will be where all Pokemon can go. So that won't be as immersive, obviously, as the Sword and Shield games, but Game Freak has advocated that there will be a place in Generation 8 for all Pokemon, just they may not be in Sword and Shield.
Right, which makes sense. I mean, and it's been really great to have this conversation with you and get sort of some of your insights. And I mean, we're really glad to have you on here.
Thank you for coming on.
Where would
thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Now, where would be the best place for our followers and subscribers to take a look at you?
Well, I would probably start with Instagram, and that's where I think my biggest community is right now, and that's certainly the best place to reach out to me. I am not like some content creators. Everyone's kind of got their own thing, but I'm not like some content creators that kind of read messages and don't respond to them, or delete them before they respond, or have to donate to their Patreon. I do have a Patreon, but some content creators have you kind of pay for the ability to talk to them. But hey, go to my Patreon, then I'll converse with you. I'm not like that. Everyone's kind of got their own thing. That's not me. I message tens of 20s of 30s of people every single day that message me first and kind of say, hey, how's it going, or what's going on? Maybe it's Pokemon related. Maybe it's more about just like, hey, I had someone tell me I got a girlfriend today, and I was like, hey. So sorry about that. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, yes, I can see you.
You're back.
Sorry. I got a phone call in the middle of that. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
So I think if somebody wants to see some relatively frequent content, and certainly if they want to reach out to me and just have a conversation with me, Instagram is by far the place to go. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, if someone wants to see what I'm really about and what I'm really passionate about and wants to hear more from me and my opinions about anything Pokemon related, the YouTube channel is definitely where my so they can check me out there on YouTube at Achilles018.
All right, perfect. We'll make sure to send everyone your way there, and it's been great to have you. And great to have the conversation here today.
Well, thank you very much. Again, thanks for having me. It's been great talking to both of you, and I look forward to seeing you guys around in the future.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. We'll keep in touch there, and if we can add each other on Sword and Shield, we might cross paths there too, all right?
Dun, 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 dun.
100%. You better believe it.
All right. Well, have a great day there, and thanks so much for joining us, okay?
Thank you.
Absolutely. See you guys around.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
All right, so I mean that was a great time spent with Achilles. He's, like I said, he's a really cool dude.
Mm-hmm. I like his point of view, and I like his opinions, and the way he doesn't put anything down just because it might not turn out the way we expected it or we wanted it to. He's still willing to give it a chance.
And that video he spoke to, we got to watch that as well.
I cried. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I cried when he was describing it in the interview. I had to look away. Oh my god.
But yeah, it was definitely an amazing video. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm gonna make sure to as well put that link in the description so you can take a look. It is on our
Instagram on PkmnMstrz.
Yeah. So I mean, first what we're gonna start with here. Last week at, what was it, 24 seconds and...
29 something.
Around the 24-minute mark, I
Between
believe.
24 and 29 seconds. I don't have it. Yeah, I do. At 23:01. Maybe.
23:01 of last week's podcast. Somebody announced that we would be drinking every time I say, but yeah. So, yes, you're listening to us open our beers.
I'm ready.
So let's get this started.
I was almost ready.
So let's get this started. Now, Team Rocket is back in full force. We've got Team Rocket stops everywhere right now.
I'm excited.
And it's super exciting. I purified a bunch of Pokemon to up my medals and everything.
Some Shadow Boys?
Yeah. So... Professor Willow has found what are called quote-unquote mysterious components. Why? Probably because they're mysterious to him and he doesn't understand what they are.
Because they're mysterious.
How creative.
And they're components. Whoa, dude.
They are being dropped by those rocket grunts that we battle.
Mm-hmm. But do they go into your bag, or is he just the one who's just now finding them?
He's just now finding them. They're not in our bag. They're in the code and they're in the details on the blog.
Okay.
If you follow the blog
you can just go to the blog from the game thing.
You can go to the blog from the game thing by clicking the events and then going to the updates. I think
it's news.
News is just details. It's nothing from the blog.
But it leads you to the blog.
If you go to the Team Rocket one specifically,
right.
It does have a link to the blog.
It's and literally what I just said.
I know. Did I say it wasn't what you just said? So from there, every 2 days or so, that one blog post gets an update.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like new episodes?
Yes, without
I don't
having
know
been
why.
announced.
I don't know why. But when you said it gets an update, all that happened in my head was, I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Oh my god.
So, what Professor Willow has been speaking to so far, he has created an early model of a rocket radar prototype from the components that he's been finding.
Double R. Just like my initials. Rocket radar. Coincidence? I think not.
He says very clearly that it's not functioning correctly at this time. He believes it might assist in finding rocket hideouts, leaders, or even Giovanni, which is, in case anyone doesn't know, the leader of Team Rocket.
Well, yeah. I personally think that Professor Willow is a turncoat.
Okay, the challenge.
Okay, leave me alone, first of all. Second of all, I think he's Team Rocket. What a plot twist would that be?
Very twisty.
Very twisty. Very twisty.
There is a quest line showing SIP's map fragments to... Shut up.
we haven't even had our beer yet, and this guy is sip questing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
We've had a long day.
Am I allowed to drink my beer without you saying
If you want to, go ahead.
It's gonna be fucking warm.
You did it because you thought you were going to be able to finish that beer.
Probably will be, but now you're watching yourself, which is bullshit. Vincenzo, hello, kitten.
Alright, so there is a quest line showing that you will need 6 map fragments to battle a rocket leader. And we can, especially from I believe it was today's update, showed that Cliff was a rocket leader. So there's Cliff, Arlo, and Sierra. There are 3.
Is that Pokeball face dude?
Cliff is Pokeball face dude.
Okay. Can we do that to your beard?
No.
Oh. 200 more followers, I'll shave a Pokemon ball into Matt's beard.
Oh my god. What we also learned from today's, like I said, I believe it was today's update. It's the most recent update from when we're recording. Was that Blanche is a little bitch.
Ooh, shots fired.
Well, she froze in the face of not even being challenged to fight.
Okay, hold on. I have a theory.
That Blanche is a little bitch.
Hold on a minute.
Nothing against Mystic. I mean, Valor is better, but nothing against Mystic. But your leader is a little bitch.
Okay, so I have a theory. Blue, right? Blue like ice. She has blonde hair. She kind of looks like Elsa. And she froze.
Let it go.
Let it go. Okay, that's it.
All of a sudden, Cliff says, back down in a friendly tone, I think it was, or a
like a
soft
warning
tone, and Willow could see that was the only soft they'd see from him if they battled him, and it said Blanche froze.
Maybe she likes him. Maybe she's like, hey boy, let me snuggle on that Pokeball beard. And he was just like, hey little mama, let me whisper in your ear. And it just, what the fuck does Willow know? He's collecting fragments. Obviously he has no girlfriend.
True.
Okay, so we don't know.
I mean, we'll see what happens when Candela and Spark run into Arlo and Sierra, because there's no reason that Willow's going to go out with anybody else to find things and not bring the other team leaders moving forward, especially ones that might protect him better.
You are on a rampage now. Who shot in your pancakes? Like, I don't know. What's going on? Shit.
The quest line and battling and all of these different things with the leaders, as well as possibly Giovanni. Now, it does show that it does take a certain number of map fragments. Now, we assume that defeating grunts will get those components or those map fragments.
You would think.
So, and then we're sitting here going, well then, 6, apparently from this quest line, creates the radar to find or battle the leader. Mm-hmm. So again, that would be Cliff, who is the Pokeball-shaped beard, Sierra, who is the only female antagonist, and Arlo, who seems very...
Arlo?
kind of shady, like a
car salesman?
Not like a car, maybe like a car salesman, but like in sort of like in Apostles' Creed, or I'm assuming The Witcher, where if you have someone who's sort of like a thief, they kind of dart in and out, they can do damage quickly, but they can't take damage, kind of thing.
I would say that's more Skyrim, but okay.
I don't play any of these games, so I'm just guessing here.
Okay.
But that's what Arlo kind of reminds me of.
I get that.
And then from there, what I'm thinking, or what I'm seeing a few other people think as well, is that when you battle one of those 3, you'd get a more rare shadow Pokemon.
Okay, that makes sense.
So something that you don't see the other ones having, for instance, like an Absol or a Mawile. Like
what the heck was it? I posted this to my story. It was like a prediction thing that someone did.
Right.
Hold on, give me a hot minute. I'll pull it up.
And then I'm assuming if you beat a certain number of, them a certain number of times, because they'll be the leaders, and once you defeat, I guess, them in, like, after you defeat them 3, like, each of them, so 3 defeats, then maybe you see Giovanni with a Shadow Legendary.
So this is what I kind of had that someone put together. So... the final prediction, number 1, we will battle Rocket Grunts to collect fragments. We will need 6. Collecting 6 fragments unlocks a leader map. Battle Rocket Leader, who will use exclusive shadow Pokemon like Absol or Mawile, like you said. Then defeat all Rocket Leaders to collect Headquarters map. And find and battle Giovanni. And he will use a Shadow Legendary, unspecified which one, and then catch the Shadow Legendary and have a chance to purify. Right? So like God, Jesus Christ. Articuno, yeah. Like
Zapdos,
one of those Zapdos, Moltres. Yeah.
I know a few people are really excited for Shadow Lugia.
That'd be pretty cool. But you know what I mean? Like, I think this is pretty on par.
It could be.
With what you're saying.
I
like,
can't wait to see.
It makes sense. I wish somewhere in there, along the storyline, is get a medallion that allows you to switch to Team Rocket. But that's just me. That's because I'm a shit. Like, even as a little kid, I kind of wanted Team Rocket to win just once. But that could be because Ash was a little bitch. And I'm like, this guy can't fucking do anything. Get out of here. Go back home.
In red version, I swear to goodness, it had that. Would you like to join Team Rocket, yes or no?
Yeah.
Click yes every time, and they're like, oh, but Team Rocket's the best. And then when you said yes, and I was like, this is stupid.
Why is it even here?
Why is it an option? And then in yellow version, they remove the option.
Oh, that's shitty.
Would you like to join Team Rocket? And then you have to click A to go to the next screen. It's not even like
yes
or no. But it didn't matter if you picked yes or no anyway, because it still wouldn't let you join.
That's so annoying. It's like, this is what I want to do. Let me be evil. Right? Like,
exactly.
Hello?
So yeah, so there's a lot of things that could be going on with the Team Rocket piece. Mm-hmm. Like I said, we're seeing updates every 2 days. I've been watching and like, I don't always see them when they come out, but when I go to read, you can see that it's like 24, 26, 28.
Yeah.
Right. Or, sorry, 23, 25, 27, because today's the 27th. There's one on the 28th, but
yeah, we get the point.
Every 2 days something's coming out. So to me, 2 days will be the 29th, 2 days will be the 31st, which is Halloween.
Yes.
Then we're going to have a Colossal Discovery with Regigigas on November 2nd.
Yes.
We'll probably see the Team Rocket piece launch.
Mm-hmm.
And that being said, there will be the changeover from U2 EX raids as well.
This gets me actually very excited because I keep comparing like last year to this year and how much has changed. How like every week or almost every day last year there was barely anything. Like we just did our own thing. Now it's every other day, every week, every month there's something, right? So it's kind of cool.
There's events.
Yeah, and I feel more engaged, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it makes it hard to plan like tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we didn't have these, everyone would bitch that nothing's happening and the game's stale.
Exactly.
To be honest with you.
It does create a lot of burnout with people that do them all and do them all hardcore.
Yep.
But it's good to have a lot more going on in the game.
It's better to have more than less, because now you can pick and choose what you want to do.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, our pick and choose is do it all.
Yeah, why not?
But that's us. It's what we do. This is our life. I leave work in the middle of the day to go take pictures of Pokemon in their natural habitat. My boss is aware that this is what I'm doing. You know, some people take a lunch. Others go take pictures of Pokemon in the forest because they can.
Why not?
Why not? I don't need food. I eat at my desk.
So, speaking of events and stuff, we did our ghoulish crawl today in Victoria Park.
Yes, we did. It was gross. It was wet. We discovered once we arrived that we had an EX raid.
Well, we knew that last week. We just forgot today because we were rushing.
I don't know what happened.
So we got there. We got to do our raid. We dropped a few
Lures.
By
a few, we meant the whole park.
Yeah. For 2 hours. It was a good time.
Yeah, for the
There were quite a few people out.
Yeah, I would say between 10 and 15.
That we could see.
Yeah, but it was, I mean, for the weather that it was... Did Laos just kick you?
Yeah, she did.
Tila! Why are you being a dick?
And now she's acting all like, because I touched her with my foot.
But yeah, I mean, from what we could see... Oh! I said it! What happens now? Do you drink?
Well, I was going to drink when I did it, too.
Holy shit, do we both drink?
I think we should both drink.
Yes.
All right, let's both drink. This is our first drink.
Cheers.
All right.
Okay. You need to say but more. Or but yeah. Whatever it was. But yeah. More, because my beer's getting warm. Getting angry.
All right, so from there, like I said, we did our event. It was great.
Yeah, we had a few people out. Like, I would say between 10 and 15 that we could see.
We got to shoot the shit with Mario Master, who's been to like all of our tournaments pretty much.
Oh yeah.
And I call her Ashcott, but I know that's not her actual name.
No, her name's Alana.
Yeah. Who's done Sylph Community Day check-ins since day one pretty much with me, but hadn't been out to a tournament.
Yeah.
But she was at the last one, and I think she did decently too.
I think so. Oh yeah. And she enjoyed herself, and she introduced me to that mac and cheese. She looked at it, she's like, I can't eat it all by myself, go get a fork. And I was like, alright, I met you 10 minutes ago, I'm down, let's do this.
But yeah, so
oh!
There we go.
Yes! Hola!
So yes, mac and cheese at Patton Social. Awesome. You need some.
Oh, dude. I told you, I think I mentioned this today, but I don't think anyone registered this. Bottomless mac and cheese.
Yeah, we did register, but she said she couldn't finish one.
I know, but like, yo, if you go there for like a couple hours, like we went with Andrew when we set up.
Yeah.
So you arrive at like 4:30. Tournament's at what, 6?
Yep.
By the time you're done, it's 8. 3.5 hours. I can't eat 2 mac and cheeses. Why am I even going outside?
All right.
It's embarrassing.
So that's, I mean, definitely something we're going to check out. And we've got, what is it, $2 Fridays or something?
Oh, $1 Fridays.
So
on Fridays you get a drink and then your fries are $1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
when you buy the drink. Anyway, go on their social media, check them out, because they have some pretty cool deals.
They post stories on their Instagram daily for whatever's going on,
which is kind of cool. Like on Tuesdays you have half price burgers, which is kind of cool, because if anyone knows us, we love our burgers. Oh yeah. Whew. Anyway, going back to our event, it was gray, it was cold,
got a lot of good pictures though.
it was windy,
Yep.
it was wet. That's what she said. But giggity. But like, people came out, which was kind of cool, because I mean, all the Stardust we lost for the Sinister Cup, we were kind of able to make up at least a bit of it, because there was a lot of spawns around the lures. I was like,
my
what
goodness,
the
it
hell?
was a bloody nose pass in that nest.
It was, but at the same time, I've never seen so much Pokemon clustered on one stop. You know, I don't know what it is, But it was really weird to see that much. Because usually you see like 3 or 4. Then you wait a little bit. There's, another 3. This was like, here's 7. And I was like, whoa.
Because, lures spawn every 3 minutes, I believe.
No, I know. But I'm saying from the start.
Yeah.
To get like 7, 8.
We
I was
walked
like,
in
whoa.
and we dropped a lure and all of a sudden there's like 7, 8 Pokemon at the
So
stop.
then all of a sudden I'm standing there for like a good 5, 6 minutes. Maybe.
So if we have more people there with cell phones.
Yes.
Or if they have, I'm not sure if they have Pokemon Go and is measuring their cellular activity, whether they're playing or not, that may assist with having more Pokemon.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe. But it could be that too because we had more people, we had more spawns.
Yeah. So we went, our event was great. We did the raid. Matt got a shiny Mewtwo. Let's not talk about it.
Shiny, and it had perfect moveset already. Confusion and Shadow Ball.
And it was boosted.
And weather boosted. Beautiful. I didn't even realize I had it.
I hate you so
I
much.
popped up on my screen. I'm looking around, checking out everyone else, waiting for someone to say I have a shiny Mewtwo.
While yours is on your screen.
And
you
she looks
dweeb.
over at my screen and goes, "What the fuck?"
Well, what the fuck? Like, the only reason I come out to this shit is because I want shinies. Maybe it's because I want them so bad. They're like, no. No. So after our event, we decided to go and do some gym hopping. Because we have yet to get the starters with the costume at that point.
Yeah.
Met up with some friends.
That's pretty cool.
Saw some people. And then, I know this might be kind of weird for some people, we ended up at a cemetery.
There were so many Yamask in that cemetery.
The most creepy thing I have ever experienced.
There was one raid when it started, and then there was a tier 1 raid in the cemetery that was brutal driving.
Because you don't know how to get out, which is even creepier, because there's a one way to go in and a one way to go out. Not like that's foreshadowing or anything.
All of the exits that are linked to those one ways are closed.
So then you have to literally go around the whole thing.
But so it started with a Darkrai raid in the middle of the cemetery.
Yes.
The epic black darkness of Pokemon for the Halloween event in the middle of a friggin' cemetery, while we're surrounded by all the Yamask and Sableye you can muster.
Yeah,
and
I
Ghastly,
was not happy.
And, oh my goodness! And then,
Yep.
What hatches?
A Drifloon.
Yeah, not a starter that we're hoping for. A ghost type Pokemon in a cemetery. Oh man.
Wow. Yeah, no, it was just very weird to me. Like, I told Matt this, and I've said this before, I don't feel comfortable really going into cemeteries and playing Pokemon Go because I find it extremely disrespectful. The reason we ended up in the cemetery is because we actually just liked the colors, and we were going to just take a few pictures.
Yeah.
Because I think that's fine. I mean, photographers go out and take pictures all the time.
Exactly.
And then Matt explained it to me. He says, well, there's people here walking their dogs.
Yeah.
And the dogs are peeing on people's, this is morbid, but people's graves and stuff like that, which I think is way more disrespectful than me placing, a Pokemon somewhere and taking a picture of it.
Yeah.
Or just taking a picture of the landscape.
There's pedestrians going through.
With their groceries and shit like that.
Groceries, people walking their kids in their strollers. They're not viewing graves. They're just on the pathway. On the roads that are
in the
one-way
cemetery,
streets.
yeah.
And then there's you got more than enough dog walkers that are allowing their dogs on the grass that are where people are buried.
To me, that's fucked.
So, I mean, we weren't there to catch Pokemon. It was the leaves.
It was the leaves.
They
it was
were
literally
orange and yellow and
I have
red.
a picture. I will post it later on, closer to Halloween, because it is Halloweeny. But it's just the contrast of you have that concrete, and you have the yellow and the orange, and then they have trees of these berries. I don't know what they're called in English. I know what they're in Polish. So you have these berries, and so you have bright red against the orange, and then the concrete, and then you put the right Pokemon in there. It makes a statement. So to me, taking a picture is almost like honoring and celebrating. I'm not doing anything to disturb you.
Yeah.
If anything, I'm commemorating. I'm capturing a past legacy. You know what I mean?
Right.
My dog isn't taking a shit in the corner.
Right.
My VW is just slightly cruising on the street. I'm not driving over graves. You know what I mean?
Drinking anyway.
What the fuck? It's gonna be warm.
I know. All right, and then so moving on from that, after we had a great day.
I know sometimes just Pokemon filled days are a little bit much for me because, you know, I like my alone time. I really, really do. Like, I like being alone, doing my own thing. But today I actually really enjoyed the amount of that we did.
Yeah, but you are the collector, the hunter. You enjoy that. That's what you love about the game.
And the photography.
Yeah, and
the
photography starting to grow for you, which is perfect because I love photography. I always have. I wish I could get out more and do more with it. Mm-hmm. And now with Pokemon and being able to grow everything on Instagram, it rebuilds that love for photography that I have.
I just want to share what I did and what I took a picture of, you know?
I mean, I'm a little miffed that I can't take pictures with like the main camera on my phone because there are so many different settings that I know how to use because I went to school and I did photography in school. So like ISO settings, shutter speeds, all of these things that I want to be able to use.
Okay.
I know
this
is alien to you.
Oh, yes.
But this is what I always enjoyed about photography. Mm-hmm. And I can't do that in the Pokemon Go app because it's not allowing me to use my actual camera.
Well, yeah. But I mean, it's also like getting the shot. Mm-hmm. Right? Like today, you were looking for me in the park. Where was I?
Hidden behind a tree.
In the tree. Like, not behind. In a tree. Like, trying to take a picture of an Arcanine that I actually placed on the other side of the lake and walked over to the other side and got in a tree and did like a Steve Irwin type of here's an Arcanine in its wild, you know, habitat. Like, it was between the bushes. The photo is actually on our Instagram if you want to see it. But like, I sat in those bushes for like good 10 minutes to have him shake off and do the proper pose because it's so hard to tap on him to do anything because he's so far away.
Yep.
It doesn't register. So, you know, even stop him from floating away. It was a challenge, but it was so fucking worth it. I was covered in sap, covered in crap, looked like a hobo, wasn't a tree like a hobo, but it's a bomb-ass shot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Prank, we're champion.
Oh, my God. So on to more details. I know we had some PvP updates. It's just the Go Battle League thing, which is not really a big deal. I'm kidding. It's a huge deal.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. I think that the Go Battle League is going to be something that brings more people interested in PvP.
That, yes, I'll agree with you.
I know that you're concerned about it hurting the Sylph Arena.
I am.
And I can understand where you're coming from with that.
Well, yes, I'm afraid it's going to hurt the Sylph Arena.
Which is definitely a concern. I agree. But what we're seeing with Sylph Arena is people don't want to come out, at least in our neck of the woods, because it's quote-unquote a waste of time.
Fair enough, yep.
So if there is something in-game, it says it should be coming to game early 2020. So I'm assuming that means Q1.
Yeah.
It runs until about April, usually.
Hopefully.
So we're hoping it comes earlier because that would be great. Mm-hmm. To be able to battle, it promotes walking to play. So we do look at that walk or pay to run deal.
Yeah, I guess.
That Pop Punk was talking about.
Correct, yeah.
So you may be able to pay to make it a shorter distance.
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
Well, we don't. This again, all details that we're looking at. I know that another concern for you was the remote battling with friends.
Yeah, because right now I can practice battle with you. I can practice battle with Jamie. I've opened enough gifts. Okay, we're ultra chill, so we can actually, we can practice. So I don't want to use my little battle token on a practice battle because that's bullshit.
And I get where you're coming from there. Friends that you've earned the right to battle with, I can't see them pulling that away.
But can't you though?
No, because this is a whole different piece that has a leaderboard. So if you're doing a practice battle remotely with someone
yeah,
this
those phone games, like let's take Dr. Mario for example. Like you play your game, you do whatever the fuck you want, and then you go online, you actually consciously enter that portion to battle someone for leader rankings.
Yes.
So do you think like I can still go to my friends list, battle you, battle Jamie, battle Phil, battle Carissa, And then when I consciously decide to press my token, I go into the leaderboard actual matchups that
Yes.
make rank.
That's the way I see it.
Okay.
It's going to allow you to battle your ultra friends for free, like you always have been able to.
Okay.
With the battle pass,
Yes.
you need to walk to charge it, and then you're using it specifically to go onto those leaderboards.
Okay, but are you just thrown into any arena that matches your level? Or do you... This is the thing, right? How do you know?
Exactly.
What do you know?
That's where we
Who are we?
That's where we're still waiting for information. They say that they're going to have more information coming. So
Well, of course. It's so new. We don't know.
This isn't the last that we've heard of it. It's only just started to be announced now.
Yeah, I'm okay with the walking. I don't care.
I
walk
feel,
for everything
I
anyway.
feel like this like if it's the way that I'm expecting it to be,
Yeah.
this is the right way to have gone about it.
I agree.
Because you've introduced battling. Yeah, you didn't really go through too many details. You have your practice battles, but people don't really know. They don't really understand. And we have people that are in the background going, here's the numbers, here's the things, here's to help you charge energy faster. These moves work better in PvP than they do here. And all of these different details. And yes, you have those people that have all that information and share it online.
Yes.
But to make sure that these remote battles work,
Yeah.
you had to have people testing it that weren't part of your team that builds everything,
Correct.
to be able to make sure that battling people remotely isn't going to be a pain in the butt.
And it makes sense to everybody, not just the people that created it, but everyone.
Exactly. So
Okay.
we've been sort of the guinea pigs for this time. Yes, people aren't really interested, but as there are leaderboards in game that you can see more visibly without having to go to another website, you're going to have people get interested in, how do I get better?
Correct.
And one of the ways to get better is to battle people on another leaderboard that
Yeah.
are not part of Pokemon Go that you can scan to battle in person, like at Silph Arena tournaments. So once you've got that bug, because you've walked and you've tried the token and you've realized,
I can do this.
this guy, I can do this, but this guy smoked me and I want to know why and I want to figure out how. And then once you get that practice,
Then you're in,
then you're in, you've got the bug, you want to go and battle more.
I guess.
So I'm not saying that it's going to help Silph Arena. It might in our region because we struggle to get larger numbers. Our largest has been 14, which was our last tournament, which was awesome.
I had the best time.
It was.
I made
definitely-
friends.
Exactly, definitely a great time. But everyone always wants more.
Well, yeah.
So once more people experience this Go Battle Arena and maybe get bit by that PvP bug, they want to come out more.
Can I drink for the amount of times you said bug?
Sure.
Yes.
So
Or get bit, sorry.
I mean,
Anyway.
I think it's going to help us get turnout.
Yeah.
There are places that people just love PvP.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, it'll be more ways for those people to enjoy and practice.
And then it might be an introduction for the people who think it's useless.
Exactly.
But that's because they don't know.
I know that I know people are used to the tap and swipe of gym battling. And
Yes.
you get the tap, but no swipe in PvP.
Correct.
But what that does is it adds the strategy to the shields.
Well, yes.
You've got to know what the other guy has, what they may be
Shield
using.
baiting, all that other
You've
shit.
got to
Oh,
be paying
You gotta
attention to
figure
what
out
move
what you
they-
can take.
Yes.
Yes. It's stressful. Like, I'm getting anxiety thinking about it.
You're okay. But there's just so much that goes into it, and that's what I've always loved about Pokemon. That's what I've always loved about Pokemon is the battling.
I
and-
like going and collecting them.
Exactly, and so we get to do that.
I know.
And
But
which
it's
is-
just so funny because we're so different.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love making sure that my Pokedex is full as best as I can.
Yeah.
So I love collecting. But why I wanted to jump into the game is the original trailer.
The battle.
Yes, you had the 3-on-3 battle at the fountain, and it looked super interactive and everything. I know it's not there, but
It
we have
might be.
we have battling.
No, I know.
It could be coming.
I love how hyped you get. And I'm just like, I want to get in my car and drive around country roads for 7 hours and take pictures of my Pokemon.
That's fine. I like doing that too.
I know, but like, it's so funny. To me, at least. Because, I mean, yin and yang type of shit.
But it all works out in the end.
I guess.
And so beyond that, I mean, we don't really have much to go over.
No.
There is the Halloween event that's still going on. It's going right until November 1st, like I'd mentioned there. Until 4 p.m. Eastern.
4 or 1?
4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, Eastern Standard Time.
1 Pacific Time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So just keep in mind that if you have started your Spirit Tomb, the Spooky Message 2019, you can continue that even if you haven't completed it by November 1st. It'll still be there for you. Darkrai will be in raids for the duration of the event, so that means he's disappearing on November 1st as well. Make sure to get out to raid your Pokemon in costumes, because
They're so cute.
exactly. And keep in mind that double catch, hatch, and transfer candy.
Yep.
So, I mean, what I've been doing recently is, and as much as it hurts me inside to do so, transferring a legendary Pokemon.
What? Why?
I keep a few to trade.
What?
I kept a few to trade.
Why are you even transferring those? Are you
Because
that
it's-
out of room?
I'm 1 out of room, and 2, I could really use the candy if I ever wanted to use them in PvP. And so if I'm sitting there trying to clear out space later on, I'm only getting 1 candy each. It's not worth it.
I guess. Alright.
Not only that, most of them are in Ultra and Master League, so they're not really useful to me in PvP at all.
Speaking of transferring, I cannot believe I transferred every single Pikachu in costume.
Yeah, because it didn't tell you it was an event Pokemon.
Well, no. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like Flower Crown Eevee. Oh, you can't transfer an event Pokemon.
I was trying to tap through it.
Costume Pikachu. Oh, you can transfer these, no problem.
I had 25. I have 1 now. So I have to I guess put it as a favor, because you can't just tap transfer on a favor.
Nope.
So then that's what I'm going to have to do. But because my storage has been running out so much because of the 108 Pokemon for the bullshit Spiritomb,
Yep.
right? So I've been going through it, and I guess I fucking deleted all the Pikachus. And today I wanted to go take a picture of it in a cute, adorable setting. No, because I didn't have one. That's how I felt, Zoe. That's right. That's literally... I was mind blown. I'm like, really? You won't let me transfer? Bullshit. But, an Halloween event thing in costume. Go ahead, Rox. That's fine. It's all right.
Anything else that was... Any other Pikachu with a hat, you cannot select it.
So let me see. Actually, I'm very... You can even transfer the ones in costume.
Really?
Look. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
So they've changed the whole
Holy
factor
shit.
for Halloween stuff now.
Look at that. We have new things to talk about. Well, Matt tells you about it. I'm gonna go favor chat.
So apparently you can select for your mass transfer all of the costume Pokemon.
Oh my God.
So that's your, again, that Pikachu in a costume, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander.
In a costume.
They are selectable. They are not like your Flower Crown Eevee or your Pikachus of days past where you had to go 1 at a time. You can transfer them accidentally like that.
No!
So that's
unfortunate.
that's horrible.
That's... shit. This explains so much, though.
I mean, I can understand, because when you get so many of them and you want to transfer them fast. You don't have to go through and do the transfer. Were you sure like to transfer this to Professor Willie? You can't undo it.
Yeah,
Yes.
but are you kidding me?
Would you
I can't select the silly Pikachus and hats.
That's
I
what
have
I said.
a million.
That's what I said.
Like, are you kidding?
The hat Pikachus, they are labeled in a certain way that you can.
What are you talking about? You cannot.
Right. The new ones are labeled in a way that you can't, that you can click them, and the old ones you can't.
That's the weird thing. I don't need 17 Santa hat Pikachus, but I would like to keep a Mimikyu because that's not even in the game. Pocket. Freaking rocket stop. Sorry.
But yeah, so that's
That's
there we
kind
go.
of dipshit.
Said it. Said it.
Ah!
You didn't even notice.
But yeah. Ugh. Good thing
So-
it's beer, not shots. Oh, man.
I was thinking of doing a rum and coke. You know how I do my rum and coke.
Ugh. Oh, look, me and Matty Pants 3000 are now great friends.
There you go.
Yes.
I think I'm ultra with him now.
Oh, still not enough. Oh my god. That
Beyond-
XP grind is killing me.
So yeah, you're grinding to get to 38 now.
Yep. So close, but yet so far.
So there are a few things going on here. Coming up actually this weekend, on Sunday, we've got the Ferocious 6, which is Go Live's PvP event for the Ferocious Cup itself.
Yep.
This will be the second time I'll be able to jump in with them.
You'll have to tune in.
You will need to tune in. The best place to tune in to see what I am doing will actually be my YouTube channel. So if you're already subscribed, perfect. If not, link is in the description. But if you are sitting at a computer and you want to be able to see absolutely everything that's going on at the tournament,
Twitch is the way to go.
Twitch is the way to go with Go Live. You can find them there, GoLive_PvP. They'll have Jimmy Banks and J Farm shoutcasting. I will also be shoutcasting the entire tournament, just in a different means. But like I said, if you're curious, take a look at my YouTube station. Make sure to just tune in, support the crowd, and hey, if you can make it out, head out.
Even better. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I can't be there. I have to be on a plane to Atlanta. Do my favorite thing of all things is flying. Yep.
So the check-in for that tournament is at 12:15 in the afternoon. Tournament starts at 1. Make sure you're there at 12:15 to get your check-in done. You can get drinks and food from the Hive, which is where the tournament is taking place. If you are curious, just zoom in on the Toronto area on the Sylph Arena map. It'll give you all the details, address, everything there.
Or just literally type the Hive into Google.
This will give you all the details as well as the ability to check or register for the tournament and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see you there. Or I'll see you there if you're there, and if you want to tune into YouTube or Twitch to be able to see the tournament. If you're not,
yeah,
definitely take a peek.
I'll be watching from Atlanta, and I'll be taking some pictures of Pokemon in Atlanta. Hopefully I can get some pictures of Pokemon in the shower world.
In the shower world.
Yeah, take some water types with me. Take a Vaporeon, take a Squirtle, see what's going on. Try out some new shower heads.
There you go.
Yeah. So you guys can kind of see my adventures in Atlanta.
The Atlanta Adventure Squad.
The Atlanta Adventure Squad, Squirtle Squad in Atlanta.
Anything else? Anything else we should touch on?
The fact that you didn't say, but yeah, enough, and I still have half a beer.
Or you can finish it for the rest of the night.
It's warm.
It is not.
It is rodeo cool.
It's still cold. What are you talking about?
Not.
Oh my god, complainer.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, I mean, anything else you always know that you can tune into Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. All of our episodes are available there at all times. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You can always send us an email at joltswitch@outlook.com. And leave us a voice message by clicking that link in the description. Mm-hmm. It'll lead you through that. It's pretty easy. You just click the link and then you record your voice saying something, and we'll be able to try to work around it.
What?
We'll be able to hear what you say and post it for you, and then we can talk to it.
Try to work around it.
Try to work around it.
Don't leave a voicemail for Matt. Just leave it for me. Just tell me a story. Because he'll try to work around it. I'll just listen.
Did we miss anything?
I don't know about Zoe snoring.
Oh my goodness. Alright guys, have a good night, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flippity flip. Catch you on the flippity flip. I'm trying to make baskets.